Exam topic correction of actually correcting entries or correction of the same thing. Let's write another subtopic. Steps 4. The correction of errors. Right. First of all, we are going to correct the errors. I think I told you when we were doing chapter 3, the general ledger. Right? We have how many sets of errors are there? Two. Remember them? What are those? Yes. How would we detect them? Yeah. Where can we detect them?
Balances
Which one balances?
in the debit and credit.
Debit and credit where?
Sorry, the balance.
Yeah, total in which statement or report?
The general ledger.
General ledger?
No, it's the analysis one where it's like credit, debit and credit, and then you have to write
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. After, having done that, what do we prepare?
General ledger account.
Yeah, after general ledger?
Balance sheet.
No, before balance sheet.
Balance.
Sorry?
Trial.
Trial
balance.
balance, right? So we are going to detect the errors from the trial balance, but we are going to talk about only the errors that are, errors that are not revealed by the trial balance. So then what about the errors that are revealed by the trial balance? So errors that are not revealed by the trial balance, do you think still the trial balance balances?
Yeah.
Yes, no? Yes, still the trial balance balances, but right, that's why we say they are not revealed by the trial balance, right? Then what about the other errors? Errors that are not that are revealed by the trial balance. That's not in your, theoretically you should know, but you are not going to do questions on that. Okay. If you do accounting in the evening, yeah, you would do that. Right. So then, write number 1. Identify the incorrect entries that were recorded already. Number 2, undo the incorrect entries by reversing it at the same moment. correct entry that should have been recorded. At the first instance. Okay, we'll do an example, small example, right? Let's say let's say today 200 has been incorrectly recorded in rent account. Okay guys, now please read the example.
So in the exam, will it have like any questions that are like find the error or something?
No, they will give you the error.
They'll give you the error and you have to fix it.
Yeah, like this, they'll give you the error and then you have to fix it. You don't have to find it. Unless you made a mistake and you will have to find it. Right? Let's say balance sheet in balance, then you have to find it. I'm kidding. Right? So then, apart from that, yes, now you will be here. Okay. Right. Now please read the note guys, I will explain it. And please read the example as well. Everyone ready? Alright. So now, what is the story here? So, we are going to correct the errors, right? So basically, there is a fundamental concept in accounting. Let's say you made a mistake. So what can you do? Let's say you made a mistake in a book. What can you do? You can? Yeah, how? You can, yes, you can rub it, you can cut it and write the new one. But in accounting, unfortunately, we don't do it. And then you have to fix it by the double entry. But it doesn't mean that, let's say in the exam you made a mistake, you can't rub it, you can. But basically, if you are doing accounting in a business, then we can't usually rub it and or erase it and cut and chop, we can't do that, right? So you will have to run another double entry, which we call as correcting entries, right? So basically, these steps, actually if you read the textbook, you will find only 2, but I have made it 3. So what is missing is the first one in the textbook, right? And also it is, according to my opinion, it's the most important thing. Why? Firstly, you have to understand the incorrect entry. Otherwise, how can you fix it? Right? Let's say if the doctor doesn't know the disease, then how can he or she give the treatment? So same thing. We have to firstly identify what has happened, which means the incorrect situation or the double entry or whichever. Then what we do is we undo, we reverse it, right? We undo, right? So not only in computers we do undo this. Here also we are doing undo, right? So we undo the incorrect entry, and then finally we record the correct entry. Okay. Now let's say, for example, electricity paid 200 has been incorrectly recorded in the rent account. Okay. Now, easiest thing, I mean not easiest, maybe it may not be that easy. But the most effective, most correct thing is, if you don't understand what has happened, firstly, you have to visualize. How can you visualize? Draw the ledger accounts. Quickly draw the ledger accounts, right, in the working space or somewhere. Then see what has happened. Let's have a look. Right. Now I'll quickly draw the ledger accounts, right? So what would be the ledger accounts? Guys, we would have firstly I have the recorded in the rent. And what are the other accounts? Bank. Right? Any other accounts related? Electricity. Anything else? GST. Good, good. GST. We can't forget GST clearly. Right. Now, as you think, what has happened here? Anybody tell me? Right? I'm not asking you the correct entry, I'm asking what has happened. Electricity paid. Now, have we corrected the error? No, we haven't corrected the error. Right? Then, how can we correct it? How can we correct it? So, firstly, what do you think has happened? Bank account? Yes, bank account?
Stays the same.
Stays the same. Okay, what has happened? Tell me what I'm asking. What has happened?
You paid $200 into the rent account instead of the
Yeah, 200, or you can say 220. Yeah. Okay, let's say 200. So 200 here. Same one, rent. Also another 20. What is it? GST. I'm just separating it, but usually we are, combining it and writing. But just for the moment, I'm just separating. Then what do you think has happened? Rent has been debited, yeah? Same time. 200. And GST has been debited as well, same time. Why? GST is a liability. When we pay, liability decreases, debit. Any questions? So this is what has happened. Right. Now, is this correct? My first question is, bank we have credited 220. Is it correct? Yes, that's correct. Why? Regardless, bank should be credited 220. Then, debiting GST, is it correct? Yeah, even though you record it as electricity, still you would debit GST, yes? Then, what is the mistake here? There's only one mistake. Rent has been debited, but this is not the rent that they paid. So then the correcting entry I will record in probably record it in green. Okay. So what would you do? Now we understood the mistake. Now that's the first step in my steps, right? That's the first step. What is the step? We identified the incorrect entries. Then there is only one incorrect entry, which is rent has been debited, which is wrong. Then how can we reverse it? You would?
Redo it.
Sorry?
You say redo it.
Yeah, how would you redo?
Can you just credit bank?
Very good. You will credit 200 rent, not bank. Now what is it? Okay, now we undo that one. Right? We undid that one. So that means rent will be now neutral. Why? Debited 200 incorrectly, then to fix it we credited. Now it is 0.
Oh, is it electricity?
Then you will
Yeah.
debit the electricity. Now you are debiting electricity saying what? Rent. And you are crediting the rent saying electricity. If you want, you can put an incorrect sign here to indicate that it is wrong. Okay? So the correcting entries, I will just put correct signs, right? If you did the general entry, what would be the double entry? You would say you debit the electricity 200 and credit rent 2. Okay. Right. Any questions? Make sense? Right. Shall we do another example? Or is that enough? Sorry. Have you finished it? Finish it? Right. Shall we do another example? Or you are happy with the examples? I'll do another one. You don't have to write it. If you want, you can write it, right? So, example 2. Okay, something like this. Owner withdrew $100 cash for its personal use. That has been recorded in wages. Okay. Now, what should we do? Draw the ledger accounts that are related. Right? Right. Then what has happened, guys? What are the ledger accounts we need? Tell me.
Bank capital and wages.
Everyone is silent, right?
Oh no, drawings. Bank drawings and wages.
Bank, drawings and
Wages.
wages. Right. So then what's the double entry that they have done? Tell me. Bank should have been 100
decrease.
increase
Credit.
credit. Okay. Wages has been
Expense increase, which is debit.
so this is what has happened. Then what would you do? So crediting the bank, is it correct? Correct? Yes, crediting the bank is correct. Why? Because regardless, cash has decreased, yeah? So then crediting correct, no problem. Then debiting the wage is correct? No. Then what would you do?
Credit wages.
How you would credit wages? 100. And you would debit? So then, wages you are crediting saying drawings, and drawings debited saying wages. Any GST here? No, not GST. Do you want to write it? Anybody who wants to write it can write it. And also I'll write the entries, debit, drawings, 100, and credit wages, 100. All good?
Okay.
Yeah. Go.
What is the date for you?
Now, does it talk about the bank account, even the previous one? Right? Electricity paid 200 was recorded in the rent account. This one only with 200 cash, but recorded in the wages. Does it talk about the bank account or even the previous one GST? No, silent. So if they are silent means, what does that mean? They are, we can assume that they are,
Unaffected.
yeah, correct. That means you don't have to touch them. Don't worry about them, right? If they are silent, don't worry. Then otherwise in the question when you read it, you will realize that indirectly they will tell you these accounts you have to fix. Okay? And in the previous one, see, you need to know electricity includes GST. I mean, electricity has GST, right? So then, however, GST is not affected, but the other one, of course, we know that the GST is not there, right? So then, you need to have that instinct or your experience when you are doing the correcting entries. Also, guys, right? Usually in correcting entries, there is another assumption. So first assumption is what I told you. If they are silent, you don't touch them. Second one is usually we assume the bank account is always correct. Bank account, unless otherwise stated, bank account is correct. And the interesting thing is this lesson is actually one of the most important lessons in accounting. Why? Because you will be able to excel or actually specialize in double entries. Actually, when I was at US State, I was really weak in double entries. Right? I used to copy my student. My friend. Right? So then, and he copied next one. Right? So, this one, if you do it, right? If you do it correctly, you can fix your double entries. Right, so this is the reason that actually kind of change my career in accounting, because if you learn the correcting entries, it will be very simple for the other entries, right? Okay. Now let's start the tube threads. Right. Shall we do it together, the first one? Or you want to try? We'll do it together, yeah? Because some of you might be struggling, so we'll do it. Right. Also, before I start this, if you are still struggling with double entries, please you have to revise the double entries, where we started as a number from cube number 4. 3 or 4, I can't remember. So I have to start revising. Still, if you have problems, come back to me, I can help you. Right? Individually. Right. Now see, at the end of January 25, following errors were found in the general ledger. Prepare general journal entries to correct these errors. Right? First one. Payment of 400 for wages was incorrectly debited to the drawing account. What would be the double entry? So first we start with the date. What is the date going to be? Sorry?
What?
Date?
31st.
January 31st. Very good, thank you. Then payment for 400 wages. Incorrectly debited to drawings. What would be the correcting entries? Yeah.
What was the question?
Sorry?
What was the question?
First one. What date?
Wages, credited, drawings.
Drawings debited. Tanush, what do you think?
What's wait?
Yeah. Now if you are lost, what should you do?
Jordan.
Yeah, you have to draw the ledger accounts, yeah? And then you have to check it. Right? Shall we draw the ledger accounts? So you guys are okay. Alright, quickly draw the ledger accounts. What has happened? What are the ledger accounts? Wages and drawings. What has happened? Wages account has been debited, yeah? Which is incorrect. How much is the amount?
400.
400. Right? 400, which is, this is wrong. Then what would you do? You undo. How would you do it? You would credit 400 wages. And drawings will be debited, yeah? Oh, sorry, yeah.
Isn't it
The other way, yes?
Other way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, thank you. Yeah, thank you. It is actually the other. Right, so drawings, payment of 400 wages was debited to drawing. Okay. Drawings has been debited. Wages has been debited to the drawings. Right? Which is wrong. Then what would you do? You would do the correct, the undo the error by crediting 400. And you would debit the wages 400. Right? Make sense? Yeah, like that. See? Give me anything. Yeah, now see, he has done on the side. Wherever you have space, but try to draw bigger. Yeah, right? Wherever like that, if you are not sure, guys, please draw it. You have to visualize and see. Otherwise, you will be lost. Right? So, what is the correcting entries? You debit the wages 400 and credit drawings 400. Yeah.
of $400 from
Yeah. Don't worry about the amount.
correction
Correcting the
amount of
yeah.
drawings.
Correcting wages being recorded in drawings.
Do you have to like put it in a bracket or something? Or?
You have to put the brackets if you want. You can put. Otherwise, put the bracket. Whatever the memo is, put the bracket. But we don't have a memo here. Right, in drawings. And if you have a memo number, this one doesn't have, that goes the memo.
Do you only do narrations if it tells you to, or do you,
Okay, what did I say this was?
if it doesn't say,
If it doesn't say, yeah, if it is silent, yeah,
you do it?
you have to do it, right? And then if it says that not required, yeah, you have to say, yeah, right. And also some questions will tell narrations required, that means still you have to do it. Right? Right, next one. Receipt of 100 from accounts receivable, J. Blake. Right? Was recorded has been received from J. Black. Yeah? What will happen? Can you tell me? What will happen, guys?
Accounts.
Those are ledger accounts.
Yes.
Right? What are the ledger accounts you would need? If you want, you can write cash at bank, otherwise don't worry. Accounts receivable, we have two accounts receivables. J. Blake and account receivable J. Black.
Oh, they're two different accounts.
Two different accounts.
I was gonna say this one's easy, you just write 100 and it's bad, right?
Right. So receipt of 100 from account receiver J. Blake. So you received money, yes? So what would you do? Bank,
Increase.
bank debit. Right? So how do you credit? J. Blake. But instead they have recorded in the J. Black. Debit credit, J. Black credit, debit to credit. Credit. Why? Because you debited the bank, you credit the black 100. Which is wrong. This 100 is wrong. Then what you do is,
I think you do right because you're losing the
what you do is you would debit 100 in black and credit Blake 100. Make sense? So whatever written in green are the correct entries.
So is bank not effective?
No. Bank's not effective. Why? Because regardless you receive the money. Doesn't matter, you know, where you received it from, yes?
Oh, right.
If you are going to confuse, as I told you, just show the bank account as well and see what happens. So you bank debit and black credit. But credit in black is wrong. Okay, so what is the double entries, guys? The correcting entries? Yeah. You would debit account receivable J. J. No, sorry, J. Black. And you credit receivable jailbreak 100 each. Okay guys, what is the narration? Receipt of cash from jailbreak being recorded as from jailbreak. I wanted to ask you something. Does your school teacher ask you not to write narrations? No?
Yes.
What about you? No? Your teacher teaches you narrations? You? Yeah. You? Yeah. Yeah. Because I know some school teachers, yeah, from your school. Yeah, so some teachers, tell that you don't have to, the examiner doesn't ask the narration, so you don't have to practice. No, that's wrong. You have to practice. Well, it's a part of performing, right? We can't say exactly if the examiner is going to ask it or not. What if the examiner is going to ask it? Right? You have to practice. Because if you're a school teacher, I know some school teachers say that, right? Because some school teachers also don't know, probably narration, right? So then you have to learn it, okay? Right, then any questions up to now? Part C. A debit of 540 to insurance was entered in the ledger accounts as 450. Right? What should we do? Now, firstly, my question. Would the GST be affected? No? Good.
Oh no, good. Yes, yeah, no. Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to be affected. Correct. Then, do you think the bank account is going to be affected? Yes?
Yeah.
No. Yes or no?
Yeah.
No. Good? Yes. What do you think, Naveen?
Oh wait, yes.
Oh, yes. It changes my opinion. Right. What do you think, Ganesh?
I think yeah.
Yes. Shweta?
Sure.
Not sure. Nathan? Yes. Dian?
Yeah.
Nathan? Not sure. Yeah. Yes. It is going to be affected. Why?
You I mean, you recorded as a.
Okay. Why would you say it's going to be affected? What do you think, Tanush?
Different values.
Sorry?
Different values.
Different values?
Like he recorded like
Over.
what's it?
He recorded on it. He recorded 450, but he's meant to pay back.
Okay. You know how I figured out that bank is going to be affected? See? Debit of 540 was entered in the ledger accounts. That means technically bank and insurance. Then what about the GST? GST, I don't think it is going to be affected. Right? Okay. Now, how would we correct it? debit of 540 was entered as 450. So we'll draw the ledger accounts. Bank and insurance. Right, bank has been credited how much?
540. Oh no, 450.
450. 450, which is wrong. Insurance has been debited 450. Wrong. Okay, then how much do we need to do?
just 9.
Just 90. Everybody agrees? Yes. Why? Because we have to top up by 90. That's it. 450 we recorded, we have to increase it by 90. Right? So then let's do it. 90 you credit, bank, insurance you debit, bank. There was a double correcting entries place.
So if you miss some amount, would your GST not change?
Yeah, in this case, you know what? I think, according to the way that they have worded, I think we don't have to worry about GST.
Like if they said, oh, like GST,
Then we have to fix it.
then you have to fix the GST.
So what we'll have to do is that we have to add 9 to bank. That means 90 bank would be 99 and then GST would be debited 9. If you want, we can do that as well, but I think this should be only in the insurance and so you debit the insurance 90 and you credit the bank 90.
That's what?
Okay, how would we, what is the narration, guys? Insurance being understated by 90.
At least you do not put the amount.
Sorry?
At least you do not put the amount.
But this one, because they have understated by 90, so let's put it. It doesn't matter. Actually, even though you don't put it, no problem. You can just say insurance being understated. Even that's it. Okay. Part D. Cash sales of 200 were incorrectly credited to commission revenue. What would we do? So what are the ledger accounts we need?
Cash.
Bank,
Okay.
yeah.
Sale.
If you want, you can go bank,
Sales, commission revenue.
commission revenue and sales.
Sale.
Do we need GST? No, why not?
Because the amount doesn't change.
Amount doesn't change. GST is not going to be affected. Bank is also unaffected. If you want, we can do bank, right? Commission revenue and sales. What you would do is you debit they have debited the bank, yeah. They debited the bank. That is correct, 200. And then they credited the commission revenue, 200, which is wrong. Now what do? You debit the commission revenue and credit the sales. Okay, guys. If you don't have space to draw the ledger accounts, please use your book. I don't think there is space, no space in the tube. Right? Put the number, question number, tube number, and then you can write it in the book. Okay? I'm going to rub it. Everyone finish it? Okay, so what is the double entry, guys? We debit the commission revenue. $200 and we credit the sales. 200. What about the cost of sales? No, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry too much as well. So just that one. If we have to deal with the cost of sales, they'll tell us. Okay? Then they'll tell us, cost of sales is markup is this much, things like that. Then we know that they expect us to do the cost of sales as well. Then last one, payment of 150 for the hire of equipment was incorrectly debited to the equipment account. Sorry, thank you, Colin, I forgot the narration. Yeah, what's the narration, guys? Commission, revenue being recorded in sales. Sorry, the other way. Yeah? Sorry. It's the other way. Sales revenue, sales being recorded in the commission, yes? The other way. Sales being recorded in commission. So last one, payment of 150 for the hire of equipment was incorrectly debited to equipment account. Then, is it wrong?
Yes.
Yes. Then what are the things that you are going to fix? What are the accounts we need? Bank account, is it correct?
Yep.
Yeah, bank we don't have to worry. Then what are the other accounts we need? Equipment. And what is the other one? Equipment of hire or hire of equipment, whatever it is, which is an expense account. So this is an expense. Equipment is asset. Right. So what would be the double entry, guys? Sorry, what has happened now?
Hire equipment has been debited.
Debited by how much? 150. Yeah. And then, which is wrong, and bank has been credited. Bank is okay, so you don't touch it. So what you do is you will credit the hire of equipment 150 and equipment. No, so again the other way. Sorry. So payment of 150 for the hire of equipment was incorrectly debited in the equipment. So equipment has been debited incorrectly 150. This is wrong. Bank credit, that's correct. Then what do? You undo this error, which is you credit the equipment 150 and you debit the hire of equipment 150. All good? So what's the double entry? Hire of equipment. $150 and you credit equipment. What is the narration? What's the narration, guys? No?
Equipment hire
Being
recorded in.
very good. Equipment hire being recorded in equipment. Yeah, that's it, guys. Any questions? How do you find correcting errors? Easy, hard, moderate, less than?
Pretty
Easy?
like 7.
7 out of 10. Let's try them.
6.
Sorry, 6. Yeah,
6.
Kathun? 5? Oh, okay. Kathun? 6. Navin?
6.
Oh. And most of it are in between 6 and 7, yeah? And 5. 5 to 7, okay. That's fine. That's enough. The rest you have to, because this is the first question that we did. When we have this, we will get. You want to try question 2?
I think insurance is still paying more.
Okay, guys. Please have a look. Right? What is the answer for A? Office desk purchase for cash to use in the business office was accidentally debited to the inventory. I think everybody has got it correct. The date 31st March, March 31st. You would debit the office furniture. Uh, 600. You credit the inventory 600. What about the GST? Affected? No. What's the narration? Office furniture being recorded in the inventory. Yeah? Memo 41.
So insurance is a liability.
Insurance is liability? What do you think?
Is it? It's a liability or an expense?
Liability to extent, yeah. It's an expense.
Expense. So
Right. Next one. What is it? One contributed of his furniture to the business from his personal assets. So then what will happen? The furniture was 500 but recorded as 50. That means you have to top up by 450. That's easy. Office furniture. For 50. And we have to credit capital, because when the owner does something, if the owner contributes something, it is affecting the capital. If the owner withdraws something, it will affect progress. Yeah.
your insurance.
So then you can say
Then you have to make advertising 191, so then it's covered 119.
office furniture contributed being recorded as 50. Memo 42.
From like this bank was already credited 119.
Part C. J Barton paid the business 480. J Barton knows that account receivable, that's why he's paying the business. J Barton paid business 480. However, an entry was made against account receivable J Barton. So that means you have to because what has happened here is bank debit. J Burton has been credited, so we have to reverse Burton. So you debit accounts receivable J Burton 480 and you credit accounts receivable J Barton.
So you get bank document.
So what is narration? Receipt of J Barton being recorded as J Burton's. Memo 43. Then inventory that cost the business 100 was donated to the local school for a fair. This was incurred debited as drawings. Okay, now some people had issue. So can the owner or the business manager use business assets for these donations? Yes, we use them as advertising purposes. Right? So remember, the owner has to donate it. He can't donate it to himself. Can he? That is drawing. That's fine. Right? He has to donate it to somewhere. Right? To unrelated place. That means something like this for a school fair. Then it is advertising. So then business owner can use business cash and also inventory. Right? Even cash can be donated. Right? Usually, but in your study design you will see only inventory, but remember cash also can be donated. So what is the double entry, guys? So that you credit the drawings and debit the advertising. So do we need to touch the inventory? No, inventory is anyway credited, which is correct. So narration would be donations being recorded as drawings. Memo 43. Sorry, 44.
One should be for this, right? So are you sure it's Burton that's debited? Isn't it Barton? Because Barton is getting credited at first, and then you have to take the 450 back out from Barton and then give it.
No, J Barton. J Barton is the one who is paying.
Yeah. So that's.
That's why we credited.
Yeah, J Barton.
Barton. Okay, here it is here.
He paid.
Yeah.
Why you get it?
J Barton. Yeah.
Yes.
How said
Oh, so J Burton.
Advertising?
Yeah. Okay.
how did you get that?
Yeah, that's what I explained you, Colin. What did I explain? What did I say? Owner can use business assets for what? For donations, which he treat as advertising. Right? Why? Because he is doing that in the business's name. Right? So if you have seen, like, even maybe at your schools, you might have seen some people are donating, right? Some people will tell their name or tell their business name, otherwise they will be kind of unanimous. But however, if they tell the business's name, we treat it as advertising. Because mostly what will happen? There will be an advertising that happens. Make sense? Even the business cash can be used for donations, right? Right, next one. The payment of advertising. This one, did you get it? Okay. Did you do it?
Yeah.
What did you do?
The advertising.
Sorry, advertising? Yeah, last one.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah,
Oh, the last one was advertising 191
191 debit credit.
debit,
Mm-hmm.
and then insurance 119 and bank 72.
Okay. Everybody got it? What has happened this one? I will show the ledger accounts because this is the hardest. Payment of advertising 191 was incorrectly recorded in the journal as 119 in insurance. Right? So what are the ledger accounts we need? Also, do we need to deal with the GST here? So do we need to worry about the bank?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll say bank. Advertising and insurance, yeah. Right now what has happened? Payment of advertising for 191 was recorded as insurance 190. So then insurance has been debited 119, bank has been credited 119. Right? So these are the wrong entries. Then what do you do? Well, firstly, increase the advertising by how much? 191. Why? Because advertising is the one that has been paid for 190. So we debited that. Then the bank has been understated by how much? 72. Because why you need to top up the bank to 191. Then you debit. So you credit the bank. And then the remainder, which is you are undoing the insurance 119. Right? So 70. So the correcting entry would be, what is it? You debit advertising 191, you credit bank 72, and you credit insurance 119. What is the narration, guys?
Advertising being understated insurance.
Yes, you can say advertising being recorded okay, that is advertising being understated and recorded in the insurance.
You have to say recorded.
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't make sense, yes. Memo 45. You have to say something that makes sense. That's it. Make sure you include the source document reference. Right. And these values that you are, 191 you record as 119. What do you call those errors in accounting? Errors of transposition. Right? Why? The numbers in the figures are interchange or replace, right? So they have transposed, basically errors of transposition. And the thing is, in maths, always these differences are of multiples of 9. Check it. Interesting. Now see this one, how much? 72. Multiple of 9. Remember earlier also we did it. What is it? How much was it? 90, see? No, not 90, my bad. Something we recorded as yeah. Debit of 540 became 450, see? Always they are multiples of 9. I don't know how it happens. Right. Any question, guys? Is this? Right, please do the next one. Okay guys, this one, what is the correcting entry for telephone charges being recorded to insurance? What is it? Telephone, 50, debit, how much? And the other one is insurance, 50.
It's not very well. It's not very well done.
The date hasn't been given, but we can say June 30th.
That's fair.
So then, what is it? Telephone being recorded as insurance. Memo 16. I think you should be fine with them now. 9 recorded as interest expense, actual interest of the owners. So then what we'll do? Drawings you debit 90 and you credit the interest expense. What is the narration? Drawings being recorded as interest. Memo 70. Next one. Payment of wages 234 was incorrect recorded as 432. If you are not sure, please do the ledger accounts. Right? Anybody wants me to explain it, or you okay? The third one. So what do? It has been recorded too much. Payment for wages recorded too much, 432. So it has been recorded 432 in both places? Yes, both the bank and wages. So that means you would decrease the wages, which means you will credit the wages and you will debit the bank, because you need to increase the bank. By how much? The difference, which is 198. Right? If you want, you can divide 198 by 9. Can you divide? Yes. Still it's a multiple of 9. Right? See? Okay. The other one. Last one is the problem. Yeah? Last one is the problem. Okay, I'll show you. That one, remember, see, you have read the question. Receipt of 800 from an account receivable abroad. Right? So what has happened actually? I mean, what is the transaction? Account receivable abroad paid as 800, but it has been incorrectly recorded as. Wonderful mistake. Right? Incorrectly recorded as payment to account payable. What happened to the account and was high at that time? Right? I don't know how he recorded it. We should give him a kind of award, yeah? Right, however. Right? So, broad had been incorrect recorded as payment to account payable abroad. Now what has happened? Receipt of money has been recorded as a payment to account payable. Okay, then we'll do the ledger account first. Right, what do we need? Now remember, you need the bank, because some people had, most of the people, why they couldn't trace the error was because they didn't do the bank account. Now these cases you have to draw the bank. Why? Because of course you know that, obvious. Because the payment, receipt has been recorded as payment, yeah? So bank should be definitely there. Bank account receivable. We'll start with the accounts payable. Account payable, what is his name?
The
Board.
AB.
Board, yeah? Okay, board. Very board. The other one, accounts receivable, abroad. Right. Now this is the story. Now what has happened, guys? What has happened is, he has recorded it as a payment to board. Yeah. 800. You credit the bank because it has been recorded as a payment to board. So these are wrong. Then firstly, what is our step? First we have to figure out what has happened. Now if we figured out, what you have to do then? You have to undo the error. How do you undo it? You debit 800 bank, credit board 800. So I am putting correcting it because they are part of the correcting it. Make sense? That's how you undo it. Any questions? Good. Now what will happen? Now both the accounts, bank and board, they are neutral. Now you can record the correct entry. What's the correct entry? You are receiving money, 800. You debit the bank again. That's why some people have misunderstood this. Some people I saw, they have debited only bank once. You have to debit again. Then you will credit broad because our accounts receivable and asset decreases. You understand, guys? Okay, what is the correct entry then? You write it. Bank, you will debit 1600 by 800 times 2. Then you will credit accounts payable, a board, 800, and accounts receivable, a broad, 800. Are those two names confusing? Yeah, I made it up. Okay, then what is the narration, guys?
Accounts receivable being recorded as that.
Yes, very good. A receipt of accounts receivable being recorded as payment to account payable. Okay. Any question, guys? Please write it in your books. You have to write it. Next, you have to write it. I mean, how you did it. This ledger accounts. Okay.
What? The last one?
Yeah, the one I have written there.
Yeah.
Okay, because there are another harder one. It's the hardest of all. Coming up next question. But before that, we have some other parts you have to do. Because in the exam, not only these ledger entries that they are asking, right? We have to do the other things, right? Are we ready? So that is what we did, part B, yeah? No, part A, sorry. We have to do part B. Explain why the entries to correct the error identified in memo 16 would not affect the GST. Why is that? Why the GST is not affected for the part B, sorry, for memo 16? Yeah, right? Because both the expenses are liable for GST, so that we don't have to fix GST. Take down the answer for part B. The two items affected are expenses that decrease the GST full stop. Thus, in the first payment, in the initial payment of the expense, the GST has been already recorded. Then part C. Referring to the answer to part A, explain the effect on the net profit of Brown Tools for June 25 of the entry to record memo 70. Now, part C. Sorry. Referring to the answer to part A. What is the impact on the net profit? What is that question? They are asking, what is our answer to part A? Correcting entries. Because of these correcting entries, what is the impact on the net profit? And what would we do? Then we have to find out. So they are asking me any impact on the net profit. So how would the net profit be impacted? We haven't still done the net profit, guys, because all of you have done it too, so that I know you are okay with the net profit. Right? So why would the net profit be affected? If the revenues or expenses were affected. Now we have to see. We have to actually filter if there are any.
It only asks for the memo 16.
Sure.
Or 17.
Sorry, my bad. Memo 17, yes. Okay. Thank you. Memo 17. See, even I have read the question properly. Right? Good. That means you guys are reading the question, yes? Right. See, this one only memo 17. That means too easy. 90 recorded as interest expense was actually interest on Brown's home loan. That means, which means what we did here is interest expense was credited 90, meaning interest will decrease. Expense decreases means net profit
Increase.
Net profit increase. Okay, take down. Interest expense for part C, interest expense has decreased by 90 because there was no interest incurred. There was no interest incurred, meaning net profit increases by 90. Okay. Right. Part D. Such is one way the error identified in memo 18. What is memo 18? Wages. Could have been detected. That of course I think you wouldn't know. Right, take down the answer for part D. By comparing the payroll with the bank account or comparing the bank account with the bank statement.
Wait, what is it?
Comparing the bank account with the bank statement.
Wait, what's after O?
Or comparing the bank account with the bank statement. Now, this is actually a brain twisting question, part E. Why is that?
Which one?
Part E. Right. Explain the effect on the assets. Actually, sorry, I thought they would ask about the accounting equation. No, they asked only the assets, and it's easy. explain the effect on the assets of Brown tools if the error identified in memo had not been detected. So corrected.
Decrease.
Decrease
Yeah.
Yeah.
by how much? 800? Yes, why is that? You have to explain.
Because he paid 800 to account payable, decreasing back by 800.
No, actually he didn't pay to account payable.
Oh no, increased it. Oh no, he didn't. It says he paid to account payable.
Yeah. Now see, this is the easiest way. Okay, you have to go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
No, it's
No, you go.
so the easiest way is this. Yeah, you can go ahead, go and check in different ways like common sense and general entries. So what I would do is, what did we do to correct it? We debited the bank 1600, right? And we credited the accounts receivable 800, meaning we increased the bank by 1600 and we decreased the accounts receivable by 800. Both of them are assets. That means overall we have increased the bank hold assets by 800. If we didn't do that, means assets would have been understated. Yeah, understated by not decrease. You can't say decrease. Understated by 800. Why wouldn't you say decrease? Because they are asking if they told you if the error hadn't been corrected, then you have to say overstated or understated. Right? If they ask you to explain the effect, then you can say increase, decrease. Right? You get the difference? Okay, take that. If memo 19 was not corrected, comma, bank would be understated by 1600 and assets, sorry, accounts receivable, not assets, accounts receivable would be overstated by 800. Come on, meaning overall assets would have been understated by 800. Last one, okay. Discuss whether Barry, sorry, yeah, Barry Diona was required to declare the error identified in memo 17. Discuss. What is discuss?
You want to say
Yes or yes and no both, yeah? Yeah. If you were the owner, would you, reveal it? You have declared it?
yes.
Yes. You have declared it, yeah? That's the correct thing to do. Right.
I mean, you should anyway because it increases your profit margin as well, right?
Yeah. However, what will happen to the overall impact on the owner's equity? Chris? Let's say you didn't correct it.
Well, it's the same.
Same. Why? Because even drawings would reduce the owner's equity. Even net profit would affect finally the owner's equity. Yeah.
Yeah, but for percentages it would be better, right?
Yeah, percentages, you mean like in terms of
Profit margins and things.
yeah, indicators, yeah. Overall, actually no impact. Okay, take down. That's the discussion. Take down, guys. The error in memo 17 should be identified, so it should be declared, because it decreases expenses that increases net profit.
That decrease their profit.
That decreases
Yeah.
expenses.
Oh yeah, that decreases expenses.
That decreases expense, that increases net profit.
That increases the
Full stop. However, it will increase drawings. Full stop. Effectively, the overall impact on owner's equity overall impact on the owner's equity is same. Full stop. However, for decision making purposes, the correct amount of net profit should be reported in terms of financially
net profit.
in terms of financially and ethical. Okay guys, that's it. We have one more question. Right? What should we do? You want to do it at home or you want to do it now?
Start on it now.
Start it now?
Like start on it now, but then finish what we don't get done.
Okay. Otherwise, there's another option. I can ask you to do this one at home and we can start another lesson. What do you think? Okay, if you guys want to try this one, yeah, we can do it now.
Like the whole thing now.
Whole thing or like the first part or whichever.
Yeah.
Can do it now? Okay, we'll do that. I should have given you another question, yes, for homework. Question number 5. No? Is it enough? Well? Yeah, in the textbook also there are only 2 questions, but I gave you 4.
You must have been bored, huh?
That's why I said I created a name board. Are we going too fast?
Yeah, because inventory is inventory is used anyway.
Guys?
What?
Are we going too fast?
No, I think it's fine.
first one, what is it? You debit the, what is the date?
Mention that first.
You debit the
Original breakfast.
advertising, how much?
Oh wait,
500, and you credit the drawings 500. And then you can say,
Big number first.
they haven't given a memo. Right, they haven't given a memo. Drawings mean, sorry, my bad. Inventory being used for advertising, recorded as drawings, right? That's the first one. Second one, 120 of equipment plus GST. So all together, 132 that means, was incorrectly debited to cleaning. That means, cleaning, now remember I told you, usually we don't deal with the GST, but this one we have to. Why? Because they have mixed it up with the GST. So see, when you read the, so I can't tell you exact, I mean there is no hard and fast rule. I mean which I said there are some hard and fast rules, right, about the bank account and so on. But otherwise, it depends with the question, right? Gavish, listen. So 120 plus GST was incorrectly debited to cleaning. So that means what do? You will credit the cleaning firstly, right? Credit the cleaning by how much? 132. Cleaning. Right, then how would you debit equipment? How much? 120 and GST clearing 12. Everyone is okay with that? Any questions with that? Colleague, you okay? Right. Then third one. That's easy. Payment of 100 interest was incorrectly debited to loan, HBM. So what do you do? Interest has been debited to loan. That means wrong. So we have, what is the credit entry then? Bank. Bank crediting correct because anyway money has gone. Bank credited correct, so you don't touch it. You credit the loan and debit the interest. Make sure you write the name of the loan. Some people have not written it. Okay? And write it. So then you can say interest being recorded, interest being recorded in the loan. Right. Next one. Payment of electricity 505 was incorrectly recorded in the general journal. I'll show this one in the ledger account. What has happened? Payment of electricity 505 recorded in the general journal as a payment to accounts payable. That means you have to deal with the bank account as well. Right, then what will happen? Bank accounts payable and Smith and what is the other one? Electricity. So we paid electricity 505 to electricity expense 505, but it has been recorded as a payment to accounts payable as 550. That means what has happened? Bank credited 550, accounts payable debited 550. Okay, that's what has happened. Make sense? Now these entries are wrong. These are wrong. What do you do? And we have to correct it. How? Firstly, what we can do is, if you want, you can reverse accounts payable. Why? Because accounts payable is nothing to do with it. So this is the correcting entry first one. We credit it. And then, actually the correct amount was electricity 505. You debit it. 505 you debit it. Then, see there's a gap. What is the gap? That means we have paid, we have credited the bank too much. By how much? 45. fine. Then you debit. Then the correcting entries would be bank debit 45, electricity debit 505. Please draw with the ledger accounts, guys, if you don't understand. Accounts payable M. Smith 550. Right? Please draw the ledger accounts if you don't understand it. Because when you go home and you check it, then you can be lost. Right? However, you can check the video and if you have anything missing, you can refer it. Right, last one. This is the hardest of all, yeah? You guys got it? Huh? Yeah. Have you got it? That means we have to do it. Right. Sales return of 450 plus GST by Be Quick. Now what is it? It's a sales return, guys. 450 plus GST. We know of course that GST. By Be Quick. It is account receivables. Had been recorded as a purchase return by Be Quick. Right? Who are those? Ducks. Right? So return by Be Quick. Recorded as a purchase return. Okay, then now you understand. Sales return 450 has been recorded as a purchase return. Now don't first of all try to calculate the markup there. Right? Now first you have to draw what has happened. What are the ledger accounts? We need actual draw of ledger accounts here. Right. What are the ledger accounts we need, guys? Firstly, we have record what has happened. Sales return. Sorry, they have recorded as a purchase return by Be Quick. So what is the double entry for purchase return? Inventory, right? GST clearing and accounts payable. Be Quick. Who is that? Be Quick. Accounts payable. Be Quick. Right? Right. Now firstly, what has happened? This is what has happened. Inventory, what is the double entry for purchase returns? Remember? Anybody remembers? No?
Purchase return.
Yeah, double entry, remember? Inventory,
Yeah.
credit, yeah? 450. GST, 45. And accounts payable, or not bank?
Campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. 495.
490. Now this is what has happened. I put wrong under there. They are the wrong entries. What has happened? And they are wrong. Then firstly what do? You reverse everything. Right? That's reversing. What do? Reversing. So you would debit 415 entry. Debit GST 45. Credit 495. Okay? Everyone is okay? Then we'll do the other ledger accounts. What are the things we need? Sales returns. Accounts receivable. What is that? Be Quick, yeah. Accounts receivable quick. And we need the cost of sales. We need the cost of sales. Okay, now we have to record the sales return. Simple. So how do you record the sales return? Tell me the double entries.
Sale of accounts receivable inquiry. Yeah, so debit. No?
Remember Nene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debit sales return.
Debit sales return how much? Selling price or cost price?
Selling.
Selling price. Oh, sorry. selling by at the selling price. Remember my method? First you record the selling price. 450 sales return, you debit. Why? Because it's a negative revenue. After that, GST you credit you should debit 45. Right? Another correcting entry. Right? Now those two you credit in the Gavish. Those two you credit in the you are not. What are you doing? Okay, 450 sales return, GST 45, you credit in the accounts receivable in the Be Quick 495. Okay? After that, what is the double entry at the cost price? Notice.
Credit 300.
300. Where?
Credit.
Where?
Cost of sale.
Credit cost of sales. And debit.
Debit inventory.
So then you debit the inventory. So 300.
Wait, you don't have purchase returns. Do you not need it?
Remember where we reverse the purchase return? Where were you?
Do you not have a ledger account for it?
Purchase return, did you have a ledger account? No. That means you are forgetting the basic things, guys. Yeah, I told you. How many times have you reversed the previous dues?
Oh.
How many times have you revised the previous dues? Like have you done?
I'll probably do it once for that, like the week that we did it, and then never again.
Every day?
No, then never again.
That's the thing. See, then you forget. See, when I was at your stage, I can guarantee that every question that I did 5 times at home. Okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't be coming here to learn from me. Yes. See, that's the practice, guys. So practice makes perfect. So without practicing, you will forget. Right? Actually, I can tell you for sure. If you don't practice, you will forget. Right? Then, what is the double entry for? So we did it. We have to do the double entry at the cost price. So cost price, how much? 300. Everybody is okay with that. How we got the cost price? Right? Because it's 50%. So cost of sales decreases 300. Right? And you.
What's your inventory 450? Inventory 450.
Yeah. That's the reversing of
Oh, but yeah.
purchase return.
Yeah.
And then you again debit the inventory 300. Then what is the overall entries? Inventory, we have debited 350, sorry 750. Divided. Inventory 750. If you want, we can separate the entries, but no, that's not. Inventory 750, and then we'll do the debit entries first. GST clearing. 90 debit, then sales returns 450. Right, then we are crediting. Who are we crediting? Accounts payable. Be quick. 495. Accounts receivable. Be quick. 495. And then cost of sales 300. So it is a little bit messy. Yeah. So the debit entry should tally up. Yeah. Good. Okay. Any questions, guys? So for homework, right? Homework, please do the rest of the questions. What are those? From part 3 to 8.
Can you go back?
Sir?
Can you go back?
Do these ledger accounts clearly, okay? Because this is the hardest. This is the hardest that you will get in the exam. You can do this one, you can do any. Okay. But it doesn't mean that the examiner will give you always the hardest ones like this. Half of them and then you will be easy, okay? Understood?